Hey everybody, welcome back to Park Ave RC. My name is Richard, and today on the bench I have my Arrma Gorgon that I have upgraded to a 3S brushless hobby wing system. I've wanted to make this video for a while now, but I figured it was appropriate now that Arrma has released the Arrma Earthquake, which is basically their 223S Gorgon. Definitely makes sense to me why they would kind of release a new vehicle when making the Gorgon brushless, and that's because the Gorgon bodies are pretty weak in my experience. We've gone through a couple of them in my family here, and so this is my custom Gorgon that has a replacement body that I'll go over in a minute here, but right out of the gate I just gotta say this platform is awesome. This vehicle of mine is probably the one vehicle that I've hit LVC most often without breaking something. I have the most full packs through this without something breaking, and this platform is just wildly good fun for a really good price and almost indestructible.
Oh boy. Oh!
I mean, this is what I have my kids on. My son started with a Rustler, and I let him run that on 2S, and we had nothing but problems with that. And I switched him to a Gorgon, and man, has yet to break that. So it's been great. But yeah, let me get into some of the upgrades and the things that I've done on this particular vehicle. So let's start with the body. This body is a J Concepts Stage Killer body that I painted myself. I'm not very good at painting, so this color scheme was really simple for me. You know, I had to do very little masking, and I got the exact yellowish neon green that my Gorgon plastic pieces are, so it matches really well. And it's simple, it's clean, but it looks really cool. I particularly like painting your own bodies because you get to keep the windows clear. I think that's very cool. This body has been more durable than the Gorgon body for sure. And yeah, it definitely needs a wheelie bar. I had a wheelie bar, but I smashed it off bashing, so I kind of just left it off. It kind of gives it a meaner look, but you can see now that I've left the wheelie bar off doing wheelies, the back of this body is taking a little bit more abuse, but overall I think this is an excellent body. I had some Arrma roof skids that are 3D printed that I got off of eBay laying around, and so I threw those on there, and then I have these Proline body protectors that I just put on the edges there to try to take a little bit of impact when this thing flips over. But yeah, this J Concept Stage Killer body I think looks great, and I got this idea from Exocaged RC, so shout out to Exocaged. I can definitely recommend this body. It's kind of a perfect fit for this platform. Regarding the old body, mine is held up okay. I did put, again, these Proline roof skids on here to help protect this thing, but and I did reinforce it on all of the corners and edges with Gorilla Tape, but I kept finding the main thing is these plastic mounts just continually break, like nonstop. So even if you keep your body together, the plastic on these tend to just give up the ghost way too easy over and over again. So I got tired of that and switched out my mounts, which I'll show you here in a second. So this is my son's old Gorgon body, and you know, being a kid, he's much tougher on his cars than I am, and you can see his body is completely split in the back here. The front of his body, where the mounting post goes, is completely broken through. So, you know, even though I've used copious amounts of Gorilla Tape, these bodies just don't hold up. And again, that explains why, you know, the Arrma Quake has a different body, and it's a reinforced body, and it's got hard plastic molding around the weak points. I mean, it just looks like a better platform. So maybe one day when this body breaks, I'll just switch to the Earthquake Quake. I don't know what it's called. I think it's called the Quake body. But yeah, these Gorgon bodies aren't that great. So if you're going to get a Gorgon, excellent platform, but just definitely plan on getting a new body. All right, so under the hood, we'll continue with the body theme. I bought some 3D printed body mounts that are TPU, so they're extremely flexible, from Exocaged RC, and these have held up pretty well. I have broken one of these in the past, but in general, they've held up really well. And again, they're extremely flexible so that they don't break, and it takes a little bit of extra pressure off your body when you flip over. And I also like that these mounts are really low, so the body sits really low on the car. It helps lower the CG on the car, and it looks cooler. Sticking with the body mount theme as well, you can kind of see there that the mount is cracked right here, the actual mount itself, and this is a reoccurring problem that I've had multiple times with this platform, so this is definitely one of the weak points of this platform. Even with this flexible TPU, this mount I've broken more than once. I've broken them a couple times in hard bashing. So, and the thing is, it's broken. I don't actually think you need to replace it though. It still is holding really well, but that is definitely something that will break under hard bashing. Next, let's talk about the suspension. So this is the Arrma 3S Hot Racing suspension. These Hot Racing shocks are just buttery smooth, and I really like them because the Hot Racing kit is just the shock body, but the actual shock rods and shock rod ends and all that are your stock Arrma things. So the parts that are most likely to break are still the stock Arrma parts. So they're always available, they're readily available, but you can also still have these upgraded shocks that are more robust and really smooth. These are, again, Hot Racing shocks with these, I think these are the stiffest Hot Racing springs. I'm not actually sure. Actually, I don't know, but these are Hot Racing springs. I don't remember if the silver is the stiffest or not. It actually might not be. But yeah, same with the front, same thing. Hot Racing shocks. I actually think I might have two sets of rear, like a set of rear shocks on the rear and on the front here. I don't remember the exact details, but I did put a little bit heavier oil in here. I think it maybe comes with 40 and I put 60 in here. And so I can really huck this thing, and it really does land buttery smooth. Next, let's talk about the tires. So these tires are the Upgrade RC saw blade tires, and these are sold at A-Main. They are directional, but yeah, they really give really good bite. Especially for me, I run on grass and dirt a lot. So again, these just grip really well. They balloon really well. I can backflip and double backflip this car with these tires. Yeah, they've been excellent. The only thing I've noticed is it is more tipsy because I went with these saw blades. They look really cool, but it's lacks in stability. I'm kind of okay with that because it's a monster truck, but as I've seen the running video of the new Arrma Quake, it looks like it's very stable and it has just wider tires. So I think they definitely kind of re-engineered the Gorgon to make it brushless. And so that's one of the things I noticed. My Gorgon here is pretty tipsy with these tires. Even though they grip great and they definitely balloon and allow stunts, I got to be careful when turning because it definitely wants to roll over. And when it does not want to land on its feet. It rarely lands on its feet once it rolls.
This Gorgon moves!
All right, so let's talk electronics. I have a Hobbywing Max 10 ESC. I believe it's the 140 amp ESC, so it'll run 4S. I have the Hobbywing 3660. I believe it's the 3200 kV motor. And paired with that, I have a Radio Link receiver. I believe this Radio Link receiver is at least water resistant. However, I just found out recently that Arrma does sell a radio box for their two-wheel drive platform. So the Gorgon, the Fury, and the two-wheel drive Vortex. They actually do have a radio box. So when I upgrade my Arrma Fury, I will probably try that out and try that radio box, because I just feel better about having that in a protective case. But yeah, this 3200 kV motor, I know the new Quake has a 4000 kV, but I've got this 3200 geared up. I believe I'm running like a 46 tooth, no, maybe a 50 tooth spur. Yeah, a 50 tooth spur and a 20 tooth pinion. And yeah, it doesn't really get hot. I do have this ProTech RC fan over the motor, which helps keep things cool. And I also added a Rocket RC fan on top of the ESC here. I don't think it would fit under the cover, so I literally just screwed it down on top of this. I might be running double fans in this case, but anyway, it just keeps a lot of airflow going under that body. And even in Arizona, I don't think I've had this thing thermal yet. I did have it geared up with like a 26 tooth pinion, believe it or not, at one point, and that actually did thermal. So I think I had a 46 tooth spur and like a 26 tooth pinion, and it was just too much. I mean, I could 50% throttle and I was wheelie limited, and it actually did thermal. So I lowered it to a less ridiculous 50 tooth spur and 20 tooth pinion, I believe, and now it doesn't thermal anymore, and it's plenty fast, and I can still rip double backflips. I forgot to mention I also have an upgraded 25 kilogram servo that is super fast. I think it's a Flash Hobby servo, and Flash Hobby is probably it's probably my favorite kind of cheaper Amazon brand servo, because it is brushless. So it's a 25 kg brushless servo. It's super fast, and I have these Flash Hobby servos in a lot of my cars because they're cheap and they are awesome and they haven't broken yet. And again, they're extremely fast. So yep, it's a Flash Hobby servo. Okay, so I was wrong earlier. I have a 55 tooth spur with that 20 tooth pinion. I think the original is 60 something teeth. And like I said, I went down to a 50 tooth spur, and that was causing overheating. It was too much. So I went to a 55 tooth spur. But this is just a normal hot racing spur gear. I think this, again, also comes off of maybe like a 3S Infraction or a 3S, I forget the name of the 3S speed car, but I think certainly the Infraction, it's for their on-road 3S speed cars, is where I found this hot racing spur gear, but it works perfectly on this platform. You can also see underneath the pinion there that I've got the hot racing, basically motor support plate. In hard crashes moving forward, the motor can slip away from the spur, and so the pinion can slip away from the spur. So this plate actually helps support this. Again, that's a hot racing plate, and I feel like this is kind of a necessary upgrade for this platform. This is one of those things that continually happens. It's happened to me, it's happened to my kids, but this plate really allows you to wrench down those screws that hold the motor in place, and that keeps your mesh good even in hard crashes. And that, yeah, again, that's a hot racing like motor support plate. Underneath here, you can see I have this steel skid plate on the rear. Yeah, I'm not sure this is necessary, but it's just something that I ordered, so I threw it on there. I'm not really landing hard on asphalt. If I was landing hard on asphalt, then this would be necessary, but I'm not really too sold on this because this kind of prevents you from putting the wheelie bar on. And I did have a wheelie bar on here at one point, but I did break it, and I decided I'll try this instead. But this platform definitely needs a wheelie bar because, once it goes up on two wheels, it really just wants to keep going, and you end up destroying the back of your body. But yeah, that's what I have on here. I've been too lazy to switch it out, but I'm sure I will once I go back to a wheelie bar, because the wheelie bar doesn't work with that. Underneath here, you can see another one of the weak points on this platform is the servo saver. On almost all of these two-wheel drive Arrmas, I have broken the stock servo saver. Thankfully, there's cheap Chinese ones that are metal that you can get on Amazon in 2-day shipping, and they work fantastic. But yeah, that's definitely a thing that's broken. I think I saw in the Arrma Quake video that is one of the things that they actually upgraded, because that was a known weak point. But thankfully, it's a pretty easy fix. And again, just super simple platform. Nothing special under here. I am just running an IC5 connector because I've kind of settled on EC5 connectors for all of my batteries. You know, you got to pick one and consolidate somewhere, so I went with EC5. So these IC5s are extremely easy to solder on, and so that's what I've got under here. If you couldn't tell already, I am completely and utterly sold on this platform. The smiles per dollar that this platform provides is excellent, especially when you need to maintain an entire fleet of them for all of your kids. This is the way to go. They are extremely durable. I've recommended these to neighbors as well, and they're just extremely easy to work on. So the rare occasion that they do break, you can get the parts and get them back together so quickly and so easily. I think the biggest downfall of this particular platform is the powertrain. The two granite bodies that you see on the Gorgons are my two sons that drive with me, and both of them burned out their brushless motors in the same day. Or their brushed motors, excuse me. They burned out the stock brushed motors at the same time. Now, were they being overly abusive on them? Yes, but the Arrma brushed motors on Bashers, I mean, we just burned them all out. All of these vehicles you see on this bench have brushless systems. The Vortex and the two granite-bodied Gorgons, they all just have basically the cheapest, lowest kV brushless system that I could find on Amazon, and I wanted that low kV and brushless so that they don't get hot and they don't go that fast, but they're still plenty fast enough. I believe they're 2600 kV, so 2600 kV on 2S is just slightly faster than they would be brushed anyway, and that is more than enough for my kids, and now I don't have to worry about overheating it all, and the kids can't really burn them out. But yeah, this platform is very versatile. As you can see, the granite bodies fit on here quite beautifully, and so it's a quick fix. You know, my kids are so rough on things. You can see I got the 3D printed parts to just kind of armor up the back, particularly the back of these granite bodies. That's the first thing that broke on my granite. But yeah, this platform is just amazing.
Got it.
I actually forgot to mention, you see how many of this platform we have? I have an Arrma Fury that's on the same platform, a short course truck on the same platform in a box still that I haven't even gotten to. So again, let that just emphasize how much I like this platform and recognize its potential, and it's just durable. And again, the amount of work that it takes to maintain and the cost versus the fun that you get, the ratio is just it's a very high fun factor for not a lot of input, and this is a great way to get into bashing. And even for somebody like me who has 6S and 8S cars, again, like I said earlier in this video, this is the car that I have run the most packs through that I actually get to LVC. So the the Gorgon is a definite recommend. I would certainly say if you can actually go for the Arrma Quake at this point, that car just looks so phenomenal. I'm so tempted to go just buy one and keep it stock, because it looks like it just performs so good stock. But I already have this. This is super custom, so you know I'm happy to have this. But my recommendation is, if you're gonna get a Gorgon, just go get the brushless Quake, and you won't have to do any of the things that I had to do. It's just going to be an awesome performer right out of the box. But yeah, hopefully y'all learned something, you know, bodies and common failure points and all that good stuff. But yeah, honestly, all of the new two-wheel drive Arrma stuff is an easy recommend. Well, that's going to be it for this video. My name is Richard. This is Park Ave RC. Always remember, God loves you. Peace.